Today we're going to learn some cool chords in the song As the Deer in the key of A, and what you ultimately want is freedom of expression and the ability to play creatively and to play what you want. How you doing? I'm Sean, and on this channel, if you're new here, we analyze other musicians. We help you to understand what they're doing so that you can do it too, and you can have that freedom and independence in your playing. In my last video, I played a snippet of the song As the Deer. It was on the Cornell video, and my brother heard the song and he added his own take to that song. Blew me away. His chords, his approach is just so unique. In fact, let's listen to it now. The deer panteth for. Do I want to put it? Da, da, da. So the question is, where does improvisation start? And I will tell you that it starts with melody. It starts with melody. We're doing this song in the key of A. You only need 3 chords plus 1, beginners. So if you're a beginner, you just need A, C sharp, and E as one of the chords. The other one is A, D, and F sharp. The other chord is G sharp, B, and E. So go ahead, I'll put those on the screen. And then there's one more you'll need, and that is A, C sharp, and F sharp. This is the 6th chord. Now this is how you play it. And as a beginner, what you do is you try to find the melody, play the melody, and find out which of these chords fit with the melody. So as the deer panteth for, see the 6. This is how you begin, see, because good improv always starts from knowing when I'm playing a note or I'm playing a melody line on the piano, I know what chord I want to play in my left hand. That's where it starts. And that's why I say always start simple, because this is what's important. So the chorus of that song, you alone, strength and shield. So you play it like this. You may not think it sounds fancy, but this is how we build up to that intermediate and advanced level. You alone, yield. I'd probably use a D flat sus4 here. Right, that was the only change that I would probably make. But again, it's still at the beginner level. Now, I want to show you something. So if you look at the screen here, you'll see the thing that I have a beginner to advanced beginner topics, because I have found that there's a big gap between the level that I call competent and beginner. And so I've created this new thing. I'll talk about it this weekend for those of you who are members who are coming to my training. I'm gonna talk about this more there, but basically, you know, you have beginner and then you have what I call advanced beginner. So let's look at some of these topics here. Stacking notes for fuller sounds, for instance, playing a dominant chords. All of these are beginner topics for an ear musician, but it's something that you need to know how to do. So for instance, instead of going that 4 chord, that 6 chord, like that would be played like this. It's beginner because I'm still using basic triads, but see the way I'm voicing these things sounds so much better. And so I call it beginner because again, it's just rearranging the notes, making them sound a lot better, but it's still using basic chords. Moving up to the next stage on how to play this improv as a competent level musician, which is a stage that I have in my own course in a roadmap. And I call it competent simply because it adds things like 7th chords, 9th chords, basic drop 2s, tones, and different ways to approach a chord. So again, if I'm at, whereas the beginner level, advanced beginner, I'm doing, I may go something like that. See, that's an approach. You alone, my strength and shield. Right? You alone. I'm at competent level simply because I'm thinking about how to approach different chords. So instead of just going at the advanced beginner, instead of going you alone and going straight to this A chord over C sharp, I went you, someone would say like, where'd you get that chord? But I'm not thinking of the chord itself. I'm thinking of what I'm trying to approach. I'm trying to approach this chord with a C sharp at the bottom. And so my brain at competent is only thinking in terms of approach. That's why it says 5 ways to approach, because I got to know how I want to approach things. Now, if I skip up to that level where I'm doing intermediate, now I'm adding things like Justin was adding in his video. Let me see if I can find this here. So for intermediate topics, we're talking about tensions, all the tensions, extensions, all forms of drop 2 chords. So not just the basic drop 2s, but we're talking about, you know, how to use diminished drop 2s. And even when I did that last phrase, I think I did something like that. That would be more intermediate because I'm using half diminished drop 2s and things like that. See, so these are what I call intermediate topics. But let me just say this though. When I did that phrase, it's still melody. When I did you alone, you alone, and when I did that phrase here, see, I was thinking of melody. And then you alone. See, it starts with the melody. That's why I said it starts with the melody. My job as a musician and your job as a musician is to think of a melody and think how to best harmonize that melody with appropriate chord choices. See, so that's where the building of vocabulary comes in, so that you have choices to pull from to support your melody. So I knew I wanted a diminished chord there. I wanted a half diminished chord there, right? So I can have half diminished there, I can have a half diminished here, and then I can have a diminished here, and then I can go back to you alone. Right, so and I can keep on going. So this is the beauty of knowing, you know, different things that you could do at different levels. At the intermediate stage, let's play what Justin was doing so I can show you some of this stuff here. Okay, so he starts at the chorus. So check this out. Here's see, so even the way he starts this, let me listen to that again. So he has this minor 9 to this A flat, add 2 over C, and then he goes to the 4, and listen what he does with his left hand. His left hand is moving like it's a melody. It's moving like it's got its own character. See, there was somebody who asked me a question they didn't ask me a question, they asked a question on Facebook, and I wanted to pop in and give my answer because they were asking, well, I want to be able to not play octaves in my left hand. And I have a video about that. But ultimately, your goal in the left hand is not to even think about the root, it's to think about melodies and how I can form melodies with my left hand. Listen to what he's doing with his left hand. Listen to it. Look, watch this right here. See, his left hand is forming a melody. Something like that. See, the melodies, the left hand is its own thing. It's got its own character. So I love that. And so that's how I'm thinking in terms of intermediate stage, in addition to the transitions and everything else. I wanted to show you something else too, real quick. And I'm just recording, this is a quick video as you guys can see. Oh my goodness. And you know what? Right before he did that, he has a movement there that I used, and he's probably invoking my move and using it in the song. I want you to listen to. So look at what he does here. So he's targeting that move there. Is targeting the G major 7. But check this out. This is the beauty of studying music and why I like studying music. You'll notice that that's exactly what I did when I played the verse. Listen to this. Da, da, da. See? See, so as you can see, there's parallelism here. See, this stuff is so cool when you really get into music and you study what makes things tick and why you feel the way you feel when you listen to something. This parallelism is in a different context. See, it's so amazing because you see the exact same phrase being used here. And then Justin uses the exact same phrase, but in a different, so it's really cool. And if he goes on, hold on. That E13 sharp 11 that he's moved to using the E melodic minor. We're in advanced level topics here. See, here's the thing, folks. Sometimes the stuff that you think may sound simple can actually be more on an intermediate level. It's not about a lot of the fancy stuff sometimes that you hear. It's about melodic definition and phrasing and the things that you can hear. And so these are advanced movements that he's doing. But I want to also say this: beautiful things can happen at the beginner stage. You can sound really good. You can sound really good at the beginner level. You don't have to wait until you are advanced and intermediate and playing for 20 years before you sound really good. You can sound good now, just making sure that you focus on the melody, making sure that your melody is supported with the correct chords. So I would definitely recommend that you start in the 3-chord approach if you're just starting on this thing, or even if you want to just go back to the beginning and make sure you do it the right way. Check the video I have on my YouTube channel about how to harmonize a melody, and we'll start you right from those 3 chords. Get good at that first, right? Some of you may want more information on kind of those, what you needed to know in the levels. This is updated, but I do have a video I did a couple years ago about what every musician should know on each level. Definitely check that out because it will provide more detail in what you should be learning at each stage. You may have missed some things. So as you go back and fill in some of those holes, you'll find that you're playing and your confidence will increase. Lastly, I'm gonna go ahead and break down my brother's video, and I'm going to give that to everybody here. Just follow the link. Check out the description. I got a bunch of links in there that will show you how to get to that page so you can study his song further. For everybody else, thanks again. I enjoyed teaching you today. We'll see you guys again later.